Gorka. This, I think they find out live here. I think this is one of the ones where they hear about it while they're talking online. Let's see. And sorry if there's another ad for butt grease or something.
If you have trouble breathing through your nose, pay close attention to this video, because this new invention from a top
don't work. All right.
During the break, we had some breaking news. So
how appropriate.
Here we are,
they broke your break?
Live on the War Room, reporting that the grand jury in New York City, according to the New York Times, has voted to indict President Donald J. Trump in a probe into the Stormy Daniels payment. Mr. Bragg and his lawyers will likely attempt to negotiate Mr. Trump's surrender, according to the Times. If he agrees, it will raise the prospect of the former president, with the Secret Service in tow, being photographed and fingerprinted in the bowels of a New York State courthouse. The leading...
You had to say bowels, didn't you?
Front runner.
The leading front runner, as opposed to the second front runner, the first front runner up.
The opposition candidate to the sitting...
Yeah, but opposition to reality, not, politically.
Resident of the White House is being indicted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And by the way, it won't just be this one indictment. Good luck.
The leading challenger of the opposition party. And for someone to explain communism to us, fortunately, we have an expert, Dr. Sebastian Gorka.
Why is he's an expert on communism? I didn't realize that America First was run as a co-op collective.
Is with us. Dr. Gorka, are you surprised that this day has come? Are you surprised at all?
No, I'm Gorka. Gorka does not surprise. Gorka. There are no surprises for Gorka. I knew this was coming, but I'm still horrified. I'm Gorka.
Well, Jack, I'm surprised at a tactical level because of the reports we had just 2 days ago that the grand jury was being postponed for a whole month. That doesn't...
Yeah, it seems like that was wishful thinking, and whoever your sources were like, I'm not talking to somebody serious. I'm talking to an asshole. So it
doesn't happen with grand juries unless it's the heat of summer.
Gorka.
So that was a sign that Alvin Bragg had maybe bitten off more than he could chew.
And apparently he chewed the whole thing and swallowed it and decided to go in for a second bite. Gorka.
But I'm not surprised at the strategic level, Jack, because
I'm sorry.
Have to take him down. Remember what this man said. I was there at Mar-a-Lago when he announced, not only did he say, I'm running again, he said, for example, that I'm going to put in motion a constitutional amendment to have term limits in America, and I'm going to ban members of...
Obviously, the deep state came for Gorka. Yeah, that's what it was. This is about the suggestion of term limits, which you would have to vote for and ratify through the House and Senate. Why the fuck does he think the people who... He thinks all the Dems and the rhinos don't want that, so because he's going to bring it up and get a constitutional amendment, like he couldn't even get it ratified. The fuck are you talking about? Why would they have to take somebody out for something they can't do? The fuck?
Congress from becoming lobbyists. I said to myself then, he has now declared war on the deep state.
Yes, and unfortunately there's no deep state Gorka.
They have to destroy him. The idea that we will have representative government in America, that we will not have a permanent class, a political class of politicians who can't make themselves multi-millionaires.
No, they would just have to do it sooner, fuckhead. One of the things about term limits is people go, I'm only in here for a short time to build as much influence and sell it as possible. And I'm not going to be here a couple more times, after a couple more rounds. That's fucking it. It encourages it. It encourages people to sell their influence because they've got to go back to the job they had before or the industry they had before, and having to downshift your power if you're not a super decent human being is really difficult for a lot of these fuckheads.
Whilst they're in office and after they're in office, he has to be taken down. So
they tricked him into fucking Stormy Daniels and then they tricked him into Nancy Pelosi paid for the hotel room.
Whether it's the Georgia case, whether it's the January 6th case, or whether it's now the Manhattan DA,
and the classified documents. You forgot the classified documents which is the worst of it.
Was inevitable, Jack. Why? Because there's one man who has the wherewithal to destroy the Permian bureaucracy.
The Permian bureaucracy. That's Gorka speak for the deep state.
It's my former boss, President Trump, and he has to be stopped. That's really why this is happening, Jack, and you know that as well as anyone.
Yes, you know that, Jack, because I just told you it, and you've got to believe it, because you and I are one, Gorka. Gorka powers activate. Form of a pile of bullshit. Shape of a shit gun. This is going to be the generalized thought. He must be stopped. They had to stop him. He even follows this up with an outdoor one. Let's grab this right now.
If you have trouble breathing through your nose,
close attention
maybe
to
try
this
breathing
through
because
your
this new invention.
All right.
Very strange, but not unexpected news.
Very strange. I'm standing in the small Catholic church I had built in my backyard for witchcraft purposes. It's a miniature one. I send the children into it, and they feel like giants.
After a 1-month hiatus was announced for the grand jury in Manhattan looking into President Trump's NDA of more than 6 years ago.
His NDA of more than 6 years ago, Gorka.
Just heard that President Trump
has got a bad case of wind.
First president in history will be indicted.
Well, we always knew he was going to be special. We always knew Trump's going to be a special president. He's going to be historic. He even said so. I'm going to be a historic president. This will be a historic presidency. He should have been more specific, obviously.
Couple of things. Number one, as Elon Musk said, it's probably true. That means he will become the 47th president of the United States.
Yes, if Elon Musk said it, it's probably true. Just like he said 7 years ago that self-driving cars were 6 weeks away and that you would be able to rent out you would just send your car out at night when you weren't using it to be a taxi on its own within months. Also, he thought buying Twitter would be a great investment. Yes, if he says it, it's true. Also, building a battery factory and your main factory in China right before COVID. Also, brilliant move. Also, Tesla's about to be sued.
Apart from that, I guarantee you this.
Okay, guarantees are coming. Write this down. Keep track of this. Somebody remember this, because I'm going to fall asleep while he's talking.
Democrats have no idea what they have unleashed.
Yes, you have unleashed. Fuck the Kraken. You have unleashed the Gorka.
They have demonstrated that President Trump is right. The deep state exists.
Yeah, totally. It's the deep state. He was being. That's why the local DA had to go after him as opposed to the feds. One would think if you had a deep state that was running in the Fed, you would have just busted him a long time ago, or quite frankly, he would have not survived a plane trip or some bullshit, spook CIA bullshit. But apparently, they've just got to bust him on the shitty stuff he does.
They need to destroy him because he's the only person who has the wherewithal to take it on.
Well, why? What would make you think that he in particular has any personal traits that would make him against entrenched hierarchical power, if it indeed did exist? Especially unelected power brokers. That's his idea of a good time.
Beyond that, we must exercise our rights.
That's right. Our right to leave the country and move immediately to Russia where we can do the most good. Our rights to give up our citizenship and say, fuck this joint. I'm moving to Venezuela.
They want
I'm moving to Brazil to sleep in Glenn Greenwald's guest house in a gimp suit.
to deny us our rights. It was fine for BLM and Antifa, but we must
What was fine?
protest peacefully.
Yeah, oh, by the way, there's a bunch of this shit going around too. They're trying to talk down their side from being violent again because they can smell it. They know that there's just like, you know, while there won't be a large crowd around any of this stuff, and so they know that well, I did my part, and there wasn't a big uprising. Everyone handled this very well because they actually don't give a fuck about Trump anymore. But they are worried about the people like the guy who attacked the Cincinnati FBI field office. There's enough of those assholes that can do some real damage.
Send a message to all those who hate America.
Are you just going to send this video to Trump personally, or
That we will not stand for the tactics of Leventi Beria.
Leventi Beria, who's a fellow I knew in my third year at uni. He used to do the pull my finger game all the time. I would go, Bentia, you're a prick. Get out of here.
The founder
And he'd go, Gorka, pull my finger, Gorka. Pull it.
of the forerunner of the KGB. Show me the man and I will find you the crime.
Obviously, I'm not talking about someone like Trump because he just seethes crimes all over the place. I was talking about innocent people. Sorry, it doesn't apply to everyone. I probably should have.
The future of the Republic stands on a knife edge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the flat side. So I think we're okay. I mean, it's always like that. Democracy is very difficult.
It's up to us to make sure that it is saved. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump.
And fuck the troops, apparently, because apparently that bothers them when Biden says that. It's up to us. It's up to you and me, and of course, my captives that I have in this little mausoleum I built on the property. Gorka, is he really? That looks like I can't tell if that's a mausoleum or a stone bench behind him. Where the fuck is this dude? He's in a cemetery. The fuck is he doing in a cemetery with the? Is that where? Jesus Christ! Did he just come from like Bannon's podcast and just cut across the cemetery to do this? What a creep!